Hello everyone, this is the eCell of IQS. I'm Gurpreet Singh, the Managing Director of eCell, and today we have Mr. Rochak Garg, the Vice President of Bajaj Alliance. Hello sir, how have you been?
Hi, Gurpreet. Good afternoon. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I actually missed my college to prepare for this interview.
Oh my God. I'm surprised. I was actually surprised when Devik approached me for this.
Yeah.
And this is not like, just to put on a disclaimer here that I'm not very used to such interactions. So this
No, it's
might not
completely.
go as smooth as you might have planned. I'm not a pro in this as well.
No, it's fine. We have just some personal and some work-related questions that we would like to know as to how the corporate world actually works after we have done our studies because we genuinely don't have no scope or idea as to how the things work because we have just shown on the basic level as to this insurance rate is this, but we don't know how it applies to them. So we would like to know how it goes ahead. Yeah.
I'll try my best to answer your questions.
So first question I had is what advice would you give to someone who is in 10th or 12th who wants to pursue actuaries as a whole professional, and what words of encouragement would you like to give them?
Uh, Gurpreet, to start with, I would be happily surprised if a 10th standard student tells me that I want to pursue actuarial science. Because as a person, even in my 10th standard, I only heard about actuarial science from one person only.
Mm.
So it's I'll be very happy. And as an advice, I will tell him or her to focus on mathematics and statistics,
Mm.
frankly. And it's not just about getting the marks in exams. You have to understand the concepts, and you need to make sure that you are able to apply those concepts when you are solving any problems. It's not only about bookish knowledge, but you need to learn about application as well.
Okay.
uh, as for advice for the aspiring actuaries, uh, I would say patience is the key. I always keep telling my team members as well. Patience is the key to success.
Mm.
You should, if you are embarking on the journey of actuarial science, there are so many papers and so many difficulty levels that you will be crossing,
Mm.
that failures might happen,
Yeah.
and those failures should not be discouraging you. They are the stepping stones to success. You should learn from your failures, what you have missed, how you can improve on that, and build on that.
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, I have gone through
Yep.
failures as well, but I have come to know that failures are a stepping stone of your success.
So you've gone through failures in actuarial exams, is it?
Yeah. Particularly, I would say
That
CFO, but yeah.
See, that is because, Gurpreet, I would say you're trying to balance two or three things. You're trying to multitask at a very young age,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So give yourself that leeway as well. That when you are multitasking, there will be times when you have to focus on other things. There is family, there is college, there is actuarial exams. There are many things that you need to balance, and sometimes that balance goes haywire.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself on it.
Okay. Thanks. Really needed that.
Yeah.
So another
Even I
question.
took I took 10 years to clear all my papers.
Oh,
It took me some time.
yeah, that's still incredible. 10 years is really short, I would say.
No, no. People are clearing papers in like 3 or 4 years now. But okay.
Yeah.
They're all, I mean, we'll come to that as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah. Another question I had is, in your experience, what have you seen to be most successful? So, like starting a business after clearing 4 or 5 papers, or becoming like a full-fledged actuary and clearing all the papers?
So, Gurpreet, in my circle, there are very few actuaries who have actually started their own business.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them. One of my first managers,
Mm.
she gave only two, three papers, and she started her own business with her husband. And she's going well, she's doing well. But starting a business, being an entrepreneur, and giving commitment to the papers is something which is very risky, I would say, in my view, in my personal opinion, of course, because business is also your baby, and exams also need sufficient investment of time. And to make a successful business, to start it from the very beginning, it's in itself a task, huge task. As for qualified actuaries, what I have seen is qualified actuaries have gone ahead and started their own consulting firms, and very successful consulting firms, and they are still going up and up. So being a qualified actuary obviously adds to the value, adds to the stature as well.
So, because I also think that like, having clearing papers on one side, also managing a business takes a too much toll on your.
Absolutely, because it's your own business, so it needs your probably I would say 150% of the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then when is the time for exams
yeah. Because everyone just studies, studies, studies. When will you give your time for the business?
for the business? So it's very difficult to balance with papers. So most probably, um, if someone is clearing papers as well as doing his or her own business, uh, that person should be a role model for all of us, including me, for learning time management.
Yeah. Yeah. So another question I had is what motivated you to continue pursuing and successfully clearing all your examination papers? So often individuals just pause further qualifications once they are employed. Because I had someone in my relation, she completed the first six papers and she gets like a pretty hefty pay. So she's just like, I don't need to clear any other papers. I'm settled, I'm done. So what made you motivated to clear all the papers?
I would say I had good mentors and guides in my actuarial career when I started my actuarial career. So most of the people whom I look up to as my mentors, they are successful appointed actuaries in big insurance firms. So, if you see your mentor to be at a position and you are aspiring for that position, it in itself motivates you, right? And probably you are getting a hefty pay after 5 6 papers. Yes, there are certain companies who are paying quite significantly on the upper side than other companies. There are companies, but there will come a time when you will feel some stagnation.
Oh,
There might come a time, I would not say there will, there might come a time when you might feel some stagnation, and you might want to switch jobs,
mm,
or you might want to switch your profile within the company as well. At that point of time, when a person realizes that probably I would have given the paper
oh,
and I would have become a qualified actuary, I didn't want to end up in that situation.
no,
At the end of the day, ठीक है मतलब it's a feather in my cap, right? Being a qualified actuary, I've got nothing to lose. I've got everything to gain, but I've got nothing to lose.
yeah,
And I would obviously, it would be false or it would be hiding to say that the study policies of the companies that they give salary increments on clearing papers. That also is a fair enough motivation for all of us.
mm. Sometimes they pay pretty hefty for clearing one or two papers as well.
That depends on the study policy of the companies. Every company has a different study policy.
Mm. So,
But most of the insurance companies and consulting firms have a good study policy, and they keep on increasing your salary as for papers.
mm, yeah,
So they are, if the company is promoting your professional growth,
mm,
why won't we want to promote our own professional growth?
definitely.
As simple as that.
Mm. So, what resources would you recommend someone to who wants to delve in something like technical aspects of actuarial science in this current day?
See, in terms of resources, there are many actuarial institutes around the world. Most of the institutes known to India as a nation is Institute of Actuaries of India, IFOA, and SOA, right? And all these institutes, they have their own seminars, online videos, and they keep releasing their materials, etc. So if anyone wants to delve deeper into the technical aspects of actuarial science, these seminars are a very good place to start with. If you go online also, suppose you like a concept, uh, just an example, Mac variability concept is discussed very often in the reserving circle. So if you want to delve deeper into that, there are papers available online. You can simply Google
Mm.
and how Mac derived that variability, what was the concept behind it.
Mm.
But of course, to understand all that, uh, there is a basic understanding of maths that is required.
Definitely.
And that's where we go back to the first question, that
Yeah.
if you are a aspiring actuary, if you want to pursue actuarial science, you should ensure that your mathematics and statistics concepts are very clear. Then only you will be understanding. I mean, there are ways to clear papers
Mm.
in school as well as everywhere, that you can, simply cram up concepts.
Mm.
But when it comes to practical application, that's not how it will work.
Basically saying the basics are the strong, like you need to be strong with.
Basics definitely need to be strong.
So, in your experience, what do you believe are like the key qualities and the characteristics that make someone a successful leader in the consulting industry?
I am currently working with Bajaj Allianz. Why would you ask me a question about consulting industry?
This is the
Sorry?
just a side question if you.
No, it's not a side question. I was a consultant for 11 years. I'm glad that you asked that, actually.
I wanted to
Because my ex-boss keeps telling me that I will still make a good consultant and I should go back to consulting. So, as a consultant, I would say a good consulting leader should be a good listener. Why? Because when you are giving consultancy to your clients, you actually need to understand what is the actual issue they are facing, or what is the actual goal that they want to achieve.
Mm.
You don't want to end up in a situation that the client wants to achieve something else, but you are working on a completely different assumption.
Yeah.
So you have to be a very good listener and understand the problem and communicate what you have understood from the client, right? Another important aspect for a good consulting leader is he or she should be technically sound.
Oh.
I mean, at any point of time, one leader won't be working on a single project. He will be working on multiple projects, and he has to oversee the teams,
Mm.
oversee different technical aspects of the team,
Mm.
right? So they need to learn new things. Then constant learning is the key. Keep learning, and also unlearn things as well, because there are things that there are aspects that might no longer be applicable. So you should be open minded to unlearn things as well.
Oh. So you're saying
And
past concepts don't apply to in today's day.
no, I'm not saying past concepts don't apply. I'm saying past solutions,
Oh.
say problem might be similar,
Mm.
but the solution you gave 5 years 10 years back may not be applicable in today's market scenario.
Mm.
So you should not stick to the fact that मैंने 5 साल पहले इस कंपनी में यही चीज की थी और ऐसे की थी. You have to adapt. Adaptability is the key,
Mm.
because market is changing, especially Indian market is very dynamic right now. It's changing like every month. There is new regulation coming. Every regulator is very active these days. they are uh, they are issuing new regulations for the policy holder benefits. They are keeping everyone on toes, which is a good thing for the Indian insurance market. And one of the one last thing that a consulting leader probably should have is farsightedness. दूरदर्शिता जिसे कहते हैं.
Mm,
मतलब as a consultant you need to keep create opportunities for yourself as well.
mm,
So when you are listening to a client, or when you are solving a problem for a client,
mm,
uh, you should also tell the client what may be the outcome later on of certain goals that they are planning to achieve, or how you can tweak those outcomes, or let's not say tweak, how you can turn those outcomes in your favor.
mm.
That is where, as a consultant, I can help,
Oh,
and I should help. A consultant should be eager to solve people's problems.
yeah. So also I had a personal doubt that if something like COVID strikes in the near future, how do you overcome that error as well?
That error.
I mean that calamity that you go through COVID. So you can't foresee that something like COVID comes. How do you foresee that?
See, as an actuary, Gurpreet, uh, it's said that actuaries are conservative.
Hmm. Yeah.
ठीक है? Actuaries are risk averse, and I'm not ashamed to be risk averse as an actuary,
Yes.
because, like you said, we always tend to prepare for the worst case, for the worst possible scenario. We can't prepare for outcomes uh, that have never happened, because at the end of the day we also rely on data.
Hmm.
We can adapt to them as soon as they happen
Hmm.
and take actions accordingly.
Okay. So
So
what?
now COVID is one of the things that has happened, right? Companies got hit by COVID. Companies took action,
Hmm.
and now, if you'll notice, whenever you'll enter a company or a corporate world, you'll see that the companies have pre-planned outcomes. कि suppose COVID third wave comes, or COVID fourth wave comes,
Yes.
how we'll deploy our resources, how we'll change our things. Companies are going for extra solvencies to account for those things. So these things will happen, and these things will happen with the
Yes.
climate change that you are seeing.
Hmm.
These things are bound to happen.
So another question was, in your experience, what do you have like, what inspired you to become and start your career as an actuary? Was there enough awareness in your time? Because in today's time also, I tell everyone that I'm pursuing actuaries. They are like, what? What is actuary? And all that questions. How was the scenario in your day?
See, I passed out of IIT Delhi. I graduated out of IIT Delhi in 2008. How old were you in 2008?
Oh,
4 years. So you won't remember how 2008 was like, right? When Lehman Brothers and all those
yeah,
big banks
I saw
collapsed.
that Big Short movie.
You must have heard about it, yes, but you won't remember that. So that was a very difficult time for all the colleges, even a premier college like IIT Delhi,
Hmm.
to get a good placement season, of
Hmm.
course, right? So I took actuarial science as an alternative at that point of time. Uh, Passing out in 2008 was difficult, so I was like, आईआईटी से बाद में आईआईटी के बाद लोग एमबीए करने जाते ही हैं usually. So I was like, either I do MBA or I take a job. I got an option in actuarial industry, non-life actuarial industry, to be very frank. I would be very thankful to my first boss who gave me this opportunity as well. So I started it. I got selected for MBA as well, but by that time I had cleared a couple of papers
Oh.
after starting my career. So I was like, एमबीए वर्क एक्स के साथ करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा, तो दो चार पेपर और दे के देख लेते हैं. सो दैट वाज द मोड आई स्टार्टेड माय करियर इन.
Oh.
अवेयरनेस के नाम पे, यू आर राइट. If you are saying that awareness right now is like this, ke what is actuarial science, so you can imagine at my time
Yes.
what would have been the awareness, right? One of my family friends, one of my father's and mother's family friends told me that there is this actuarial science in US and UK markets that you can pursue. I wasn't aware in India also there exists an Institute of Actuaries of India. Never researched it, never found it. So awareness wasn't there that time, but these days awareness is increasing. At least
Mm.
um, like my family members, my relatives, they know that there is an actuary in the family. So they talk to their relatives that Rochak is a qualified actuary working for Bajaj Allianz, etc., etc.
Mm.
This is how the awareness is increasing, and it's much better these days than what it was in the past days.
Mm.
And Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and Institute of Actuaries of India both are working collaboratively
Mm.
on various aspects. New accounting standards are coming, so that is also helping, I would say, in increasing the awareness, because now chartered accountants are also knowing that actuaries
Mm.
are there, and at the end of the day, appointed actuary is a integral part of any insurance company, thanks to the regulator.
Because I also talk to my other friends, they don't know what that is, but my CA friends, they definitely know what an actuary is. I'm glad
In
when.
finance industry, most of the people would know what an actuary is, because when anyone is planning to pursue financial industry, I mean, there are two or three options, and actuarial is coming out at the top.
Mm. Yeah. So, okay, so another question was there ki how about how should I frame this? So what is it that excites you about pricing models and reserving that you find fascinating?
That's a very interesting question.
Mhm.
Both pricing model and reserving, both are completely different aspects of general insurance industry, at least. I won't be able to comment on life insurance industry. I've never worked in life insurance, right? So I'll always, whenever I'm answering, I'm always talking in terms of GI aspects. Uh, Pricing models are evolving very fast these days. Uh, there are initially we used to keep two or three factors uh, that based on which pricing was done. But as the market is evolving, as the industry is evolving, as risks are evolving, those two or three factors cannot uniquely define the risks. The risk factors are increasing,
Mhm.
and market competition is increasing for that matter,
Mhm.
right? So you have to be a differentiator in the market.
Mhm.
If you are not the differentiator, then you will risk anti-selection. I hope we understand anti-selection here, right? So to be a differentiator, you introduce new factors. To introduce new factors, you need more data. To need more data, to process more data, you need proper infrastructure. That's how fast pricing is evolving, and that's what's keeping it exciting. Everything is on data right now. Data is what do we call it? Data is gold of today, and
Mhm. Okay.
things like that, right? Those dialogues, that those things are there,
Mhm.
and it's actually true. At least for the insurance companies, I can say it's very true.
Mhm.
If you have proper data, you have proper pricing models, then you are the differentiator in the industry. That's how you uh, grow in the industry,
Mhm.
because customers are becoming aware now.
Yes.
पहले पहले तो जो एजेंट आया उसने जो दे दिया वो ले लिया. अब
Mhm.
customers are also getting aware कि we should check with other insurance companies, we
Mhm.
should get the best deal possible.
Mhm.
So pricing is keeping us on toes. Reserving, market trends change, market practices change, right? Court rulings come in favor of policyholders, sometimes in favor of insurance companies. Those become landmark rulings, I would say, not benchmark, landmark rulings. And based on that, you need to revise your reserves. However, you have to ensure that as an actuary, it's your duty
Mhm.
to ensure that all the stakeholders of the company uh, are getting taken care of.
Yes.
It's not like you can over reserve or and hurt the shareholders, and it's not like you can under reserve and hurt the company and eventually hurt the policyholders. So reserving in that sense is a very I would say important role
Mm.
uh, that plays in an insurance company, and you have to maintain a balance while ensuring that all stakeholders are taken care of and regulations are not breached.
Yes.
So that's what keeps me excited in reserving. And again, data is growing exponentially.
Yes, definitely.
Data is growing exponentially, and transition periods are shortening.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have to give out results within within 2 days. You have to give out financials within 3 days. So technologies, you need to use new technologies to make sure that the transition is happening fast, the results are happening fast, but you cannot completely rely on the systems. Actuaries are required.
yeah, definitely.
I don't like to compare, but yeah, I would say that all these skills, the time management, resource management, people management, all these skills are important for becoming a successful professional, I would say.
Okay. So, yeah, in the previously you had said that we have to keep up with technology. So, in this growth of AI, what do you think, like, how much AI can prevail human beings into making, like, if they can overtake them or no?
If AI can overtake human beings,
Yeah, a very rhetorical question. Your
if
views
you
on
believe Terminator movies, then they can.
it.
But if you look into actuarial profession, I don't believe they can. It can.
Hmm,
See, again, AI is a very evolving field as of now,
hmm,
right? And like I said, AI, whatever AI gives out,
hmm,
it's based on its learnings,
hmm,
on the things it's learning from the data,
hmm,
right?
hmm,
If AI is being fed wrong data or wrong learnings,
hmm.
the results that will come out of AI will be wrong.
We're wrong.
If you everyone must have seen that picture where robots are learning from the books and people are looking in the phones and not learning. So like AI learns, if
Hmm,
we keep on learning as well,
yeah,
then AI will always be tamed,
hmm.
right?
Yes.
I don't, as a person, as a professional, I don't feel AI would be able to replace human beings.
Hmm,
But yes, AI is a very powerful and important tool that will help us in getting things done faster
hmm.
and more efficiently.
So I think that's all from my side. Did Devik and Manan have any questions you can ask?
Please.
Oh yeah, so we can discuss what we were discussing, like in between the meeting. So, what advice would you give to someone who would like to enter general insurance, and they would like to start learning about data? Like, what should they start doing if they want to enter the general insurance industry?
Uh, if they want to I would say a person should aim to enter the insurance industry rather than general insurance industry to start with. But still, if a person is more interested in general insurance, what he or she should do is to try and look for day-to-day examples on where insurance might be helpful. These days, many such examples might come. Okay, many unwanted or unexpected events may occur. So, had that person or that institute or that company would have had probably say XYZ kind of insurance, it would have been saved.
Hmm.
Those kinds of things you should start looking for, and of course, uh, do some research on general insurance in developed markets, say US and UK. what kind of products are being offered there. You'll find many innovative products that are still not there in India,
Hmm.
or they are there in India, but they're not publicized as much as they are publicized in the developed markets.
They may be more
If you'll
relevant
get
there
your
than they are here.
uh, relevance is a perception, I would say.
Huh.
ठीक है? Before COVID, for most of the population, even health insurance was not relevant,
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
right?
I mean, everyone was aware in
It's
like 21, 22 कि health insurance लो, health insurance.
health insurance होता तो शायद
Hmm.
पैसा बच जाता.
Hmm.
अभी तो we look for जुगाड़.
Yeah. Well, I had seen families like not having insurance and they had their like loved ones disease and they had like no capital backup for them at all. So
Because nobody, like you were saying, Gurpreet, nobody foresees these things. People
yeah.
are, we are like, okay, it's fine, we'll manage.
Hmm.
But when something big happens,
Hmm.
then people realize we should have had an insurance. But then it's too late because, of course, even if you get a chronic disease, even
Hmm.
insurance companies might not be able to cover you.
Yeah.
So better to get insurance early on.
Hmm.
I have, and frankly, even when I entered into GI industry,
Hmm.
I got so many insurance policies for my family that we should have this, we should have this. It's all about awareness.
Yes.
And to answer your question, David, for a person who wants to enter GI industry, read about it, uh, read about the growth. You'll get really excited when you see the growth of Indian GI industry. The growth itself excites the person that wow, this is a growing industry. Then read about it in developed markets. You'll get to know more about products. You'll get to know how things are looked at, how much data is being studied. And I am hoping that uh, as a student with a hunger to learn, you'll get excited with these things. You're on mute, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was saying yes, sir. So we have one more question from one of the members. He has sent me the question. So he actually wanted to know, according to the new government EV standards that have been set. So what would be your take on how these changes would impact the EV insurance landscape? And he's interested to know about premium costs, like would they increase or decrease, like depending
It's
on these new standards.
too soon to say about increase or decrease, Devik. Government is promoting EV on a large scale, which is
Hmm.
good because government has a target of net zero emission carbon emission by 2070. So if you'll see, they have made very aggressive targets of achieving 30% penetration in private cars of EVs by 2030. 30% in EV private cars, 70% in commercial cars, and 80% in two-wheelers and three-wheelers.
Yes.
So government is definitely going ahead, and it's a good thing with the climate change that is happening. You saw last year how many floods and how many what should I say, those storms and everything came and hit every nation. So reducing carbon emission is good. Government is coming up with policies, definitely good. We should also focus on that. But the aggressive growth is also leading to some below the par technology as well. We have seen battery fires, EV fires, etc.
Yeah, so
But then
transport is also an issue.
exactly,
Hmm.
and then other thing that comes into play is charging stations.
Hmm.
As of now, we do not have infrastructure to have EVs go long on long trips
Hmm.
because we
Yes,
do
so
not have enough charging stations around the country, right? So commenting on premium, how it will increase or decrease, uh, may be a bit volatile right now because if I remember correctly, last to last month, probably in June, government came up with new standards for battery as well as transmission as well in EV to make sure the
Yes, sir.
batteries are safe to reduce the EV fires, etc.
Yeah, you're right. So it might depend a lot on the infrastructure that the government makes for the EVs.
Exactly. It depends a lot on the infrastructure and how the companies adapt to that. There was a recent survey as well, if I remember correctly, which said that 50% of the EV users want to move back to internal combustion engine vehicles
Oh.
just because of the charging issues and just because of the scare these fires are creating.
I mean, the
You see,
customer
most of
value
the cars have a
convenience.
exactly customer values
Hmm.
convenience. Most of the cars, most of the EVs are 200 to 400 kilometer range. So
Hmm.
ठीक है, अगर हम रोड ट्रिप पे गए वहां पे चार्जर नहीं मिला तो हम क्या क्या करेंगे? वो वाली चीजें आ जाती है. So it's too soon to say comment anything on the premiums, I would say.
Hmm.
But government is promoting it. Even the third party liability premiums, government is giving discounts for EV users. So that's a good thing.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so
So
one last
then,
question I had. So, what are your views on IQS?
Uh, I have no views, Gurpreet. One of the main reasons I agreed to Devik's invitation was I wanted to know about IAQS.
Oh, so
So I thought it's a good chance for me to interact with you guys. You guys can tell me what the institute is all about. And I understand that we have got exemptions as well in from IAI on the exams,
yeah,
which is
the
a very good
first
thing.
from IFO,
I was like, I was telling my wife that had this institute come before, I would have gone into this rather than giving papers. But giving individual papers is a different fun altogether.
Hmm. I think we
it's
have
here
both
basically,
exams.
like I think IQS is more tended towards like starting your career as an actuary. So
Okay.
what we learn is we learn multiple parts of multiple papers at the same time. So like we're covering CM1 and CS1, the first parts. So like we'll have probability and statistics, and we'll have financial math. So we'll start learning the basics, and then we start building up. In the second year, like we start learning statistical risk modeling after we've learned a little bit about data modeling. So then it creates a little more of a bit of a flow, and it leads in like supposedly what interviewers have been saying, where we go for internships and they say that the quality of actuaries that they get from IQS is supposedly better than the ones that they get from outside, because we have more of a streamlined
Okay.
we have more of a streamlined mindset.
That's good. I have my only view was I was very happy to know about IAQS when I came to first know about it, because I have seen many people going to London to study actuarial science in a college in this
Hmm.
curriculum kind of thing. You must have semesters, right?
Yeah,
Semesters
Yeah.
or annual programs. I don't
yeah,
know. Semesters.
yeah. We
Yes,
have
sir.
6 semesters for 3 years, and every
Six
semester
semesters for 3 years. So
and every
you must have
semester
heard about.
one paper is covered. So,
Ah,
like
okay.
first year we have CS1, CN1, and CB1, and so it is bifurcated. So CB1 is business finance one, business finance two. So if you get the exemption mark is 65, if you get 39 out of 60, so that's 65%. So basically you get the exemption.
Ah, okay. Ah,
Like
okay. So during my time, people had to go to London to go for such a program. You all of you must have heard about CAS Business School,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So when I first heard about IAQS, I was like, yes, finally we have something in India.
Actually, IQS has collaborations with Bayes University and Heriot Watt also now, where they're offering similar programs and master's programs
Okay,
also
okay,
for actuarial exemptions. So we've made collaborations, and we have this available in India also to get 6 exemptions.
nice, nice. That's brilliant, actually. Me and my appointer, actually Gaurav Malhotra, we were actually planning to visit IAQS once this year. We don't know when we can plan, but let's
Right,
see.
definitely come.
Yes, I can. I can ask Akash sir. Like he's the director of IQS. I can ask him to like if he can reach out to you, or you can reach out to him, and
Oh,
we can
that's
find out
absolutely
when.
fine.
Okay.
So we have these industry connect sessions, which like people from different fields tell us how actuaries work in their field. We also had an entrepreneur last year, which told us that he left actuary in like 1 or 2 years and started his own business as a whole, and he's very successful in that. So you can sometime come and give us your as well.
Starting your own business. Who was it?
It was someone named Churchill. I don't really remember. It was something.
Churchit. When did Churchit start his own business?
Uh, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. He started something related to photo manipulate, like something related to AI was there.
Okay, then it's not the Churchit I know.
No, no,
So there's one of our colleagues, Churchit Agarwal, who is a very successful actuary,
yeah,
who's worked in many geographies.
mm,
So I got confused with them,
no,
with him. So I think he studied in Cass Business School, and he's a qualified actuary since
mm,
many years now.
mm,
And he's also worked in Malaysia, India, UK,
mm,
Singapore. So
mm.
quite a successful one.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for your views.